Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Now, I don't know how or why this happened, and maybe we'll never know, but Ripple did publish a notable mistake on their official website, ripple.com, the other day, and it certainly got the community talking as of yesterday and certainly into today, especially all over crypto Twitter. And so I don't think it's the end of the world here, not exactly the biggest of deals, but it's in the news and certainly worth mentioning and talking about here. So I'm going to run through a story that was generated here as a result of all of this, and it's titled XRP Community Discussing Ripple's Typo About Having 450 plus Customers. In addition to that, I also have a number of tweets on various topics, relating to XRP that I want to share with you, just interesting topics of conversation. And then I will wrap up the video with this unrelated piece that I just found fascinating from Daily Hodl, and this one's titled, Bitcoin Mixing, Stolen Identities and Fake Tax Returns Used to Defraud Microsoft of More Than $10 million. Because as my grandpappy used to say, people are no damn good. But before going any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, even if there's a little website hiccup from time to time, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel because you will certainly be in good company. This is, after all, an XRP-centric channel, and I put content out every day with rare exception to that. Now, the first place I caught wind of this was yesterday, and this is the XRP Daily, which is my fellow XRP YouTuber Alex Cobb's website. And he put this out real quick after Ripple made the change to their website, which I thought was pretty cool. He's on the ball there, and certainly worth reporting, positive news. And this was titled, Breaking, Ripple Website Now Confirms 450 Plus Customers. And he writes, Ripple's website now confirms that they have over 450 customers. Massive credits goes to @Assets Daily. And he's got a screen grab here from the website. And of course, this is a phone version, which is pretty clear. You can tell by the way that the image is angled. And you can see right here, 350 plus employees, 9 global offices, 450 plus customers. And it certainly got everybody talking. In fact, I came across this, and in one of my videos yesterday, I even mentioned this. I said something along the lines of, I think I just saw that Ripple now has 450 plus customers, and I just happened to mention it, and then I went on with whatever I was talking about in that particular video here. And, of course, it came up again today, not surprisingly. And so this piece was now generated. XRP community discussing Ripple's typo about having 450 plus customers. And you're going to get some community feedback from all this, too. So check this out. A short while ago, an XRP community member noticed that the figure summarizing the amount of Ripple's customers on its website totaled 450, implying that compared to the fall 2019, the number of companies collaborating with the San Francisco-based blockchain behemoth had significantly increased. However, no official announcement from Ripple itself followed. Now, a lot of times, actually every time that I can recall where there's been an increase in total number of Ripple customers, it was, as far as I can recall anyway, always a Ripple employee, whether it was Brad Garlinghouse or somebody among the top there, mentioning that this is happening. Perhaps there's a press release associated. And there wasn't this time, which that's notable. But it is also true that sometimes when there's news that we would consider to be big and noteworthy, sometimes there isn't a press release. Even if it's a new customer for on-demand liquidity or a bank joining RippleNet, stuff like that, things that you think perhaps they'd want to talk a little more about, sometimes they don't, at least initially, so it wasn't necessarily something that was completely bizarre here. And then the piece continues, about an hour later, this information was changed back to the previous figure, 300, which was officially announced by Brad Garlinghouse back in November of last year. And you can see that this was tweeted out by Digital Assets Daily here. And then there was a response. XRP Cult wrote, I just checked the link, and it says 300 plus. Crypto Penny CO responded to that on Twitter and wrote, interesting. I did say, he meant C, I think, 450 plus an hour or so ago. Someone at Ripple updated it to 300 plus. And so it does get you kind of wondering, like, why did that change? Who did it? Because it has to be something manual. Like, somebody had to have gone into the website and manually changed that. Is it something that, is it actually true and it just it was announced too soon and they reverted back and we caught wind of it? Or was it literally somebody's got fat fingers and was trying to modify something else or change the wrong thing on a website? Who knows? We can only speculate. But it's a little strange, I gotta say. And the piece wraps up by stating here, or continues rather, the XRP community is one of the most loyal ones in the crypto industry, although it does have enough haters who constantly point out that the XRP price fails to reach any significant high. Yeah, well, so it's in lockstep with Bitcoin and all the other coins out there. It's silly. That argument's bogus. But anyway, its members have taken this news easily, showing their trust to Ripple and the way it does business. One tweet says, quote, "Ripple wouldn't announce 450 customers like that. That was probably an error that was fixed as soon as they noticed it. Maybe they wanted to change it to 450 plus employees. Who knows? When Ripple formally announces, we will know." And I think that's a fair guess. An XRP fan and startup investor, Eric Dadoon, has tweeted that the progress of the XRP utility can be easily tracked on Twitter, the Twitter account of the XRP Liquidity Index bot, and the data it shows does not depend on how many customers Ripple has. And of course, yeah, and that's true. It would depend on how much actual activity has occurred on the network, and some customers could conduct a lot more activity than others. I mean, think about MoneyGram, for example. They're rather notable. So the tweet from Eric Dadoon reads as follows: "The fun thing about XRP and on-demand liquidity having actual utility is that progress can be tracked regardless of whether Ripple has 300, 450, or 1,000 clients. At LiquidityB is home to all the info you need. Real utility projects will scale. No hype, speculation, or false narratives required." Exactly, and that's why, despite all the Bitcoin trolls out there, the maxis, not all of them are like this, but the true maximalists out there that just despise any other project, and especially XRP because it is being used to help the legacy financial system. Despite all of that, they can say what they want, and it's fun to debate back and forth with them. I like thoughtful conversation, but in the end, what actually matters is utility, so as long as it keeps going in that direction, it doesn't matter. You don't need hype. This thing, it couldn't be more clear, and that's part of the reason that I think, I know it's true for me and probably for you if you're the type of person to listen to any XRP YouTubers, you feel like you found something special, and I know I did. I feel like I found XRP and cryptocurrency sooner than the vast majority of humans, but this asset class isn't going away, and if I'm right and utility matters, I think that it'll be worth a lot more. Now, of course, since I said that, I want to be clear, I don't have a financial background, I'm just sharing an opinion, so you shouldn't buy or sell because of that. Next, here's a Twitter thread that caught my attention, and I thought right away, this has to be this has to be some sort of like joke. And it turns out it was just some sarcasm here, but I still wanted to share it with you because you see kind of like actual comments like this from trolls out there. And this is from JP. And I noticed earlier that JP is following me and I'm following him. And so shout out if you happen to be watching this, but check this out. He wrote this. It's a string of several tweets. "Keep shorting XRP and selling it for pennies. That S-word's worth nothing. We are all wrong. It's a scam, a security. Ripple is just a bunch of guys making ICO in garage. No one uses XRP. It's energy consuming and too slow. Complicated to use and very, very hard to buy." And at first when I read that, I was like, wait a minute, no one uses XRP. Of course there's utility. That's blatantly false. And I thought about the energy consuming. It's the most energy efficient crypto of all, just about, if not literally, then very near the top. And then I started thinking, Bitcoin, proof of work, very energy intensive there. Then he writes, complicated to use and very, very hard to buy anyway. So XRP can be mined. And so I started laughing at this and I was like, okay, this has to be a joke at that point. And then I realized quickly from there on that it was, because this is a pro XRP guy. He wrote, nuclear energy is needed for it to operate and the ledger is highly centralized. No one can build on top of it. What is the use of the ILP? It will fail. There's no liquidity. And there are any pairs to trade it. It's an S-word coin, period. And so I wanted to see if anybody fell for this, and maybe a few did, but I think most people realized that it was a joke, and he ended up clarifying, of course, that this was indeed sarcasm, but I thought it was funny. Next, here's a tweet from the Real Block X on Twitter, who wrote, "I love how so many people give Ripple a hard time about XRP, but nobody says nothing to R3 or MoneyGram. Are we just going to ignore the fact other companies utilize XRP just like Ripple does, but had yet to raise the value past $1 yet from their usage? And this is a point in line with things that I've said on this channel quite a bit as time has passed. It's that Ripple is not the only developer building on top of the XRP ledger here. They get the most grief because they're the most notable developer here. But there's all sorts of other entities out there that are building and adding value to the entire XRP ecosystem. And no, they don't get, some of them don't get any grief at all. And not that they should get grief, I'm just saying here, it's just funny how laser focused some of these trolls are as far as Ripple being the bad man, as far as it pertains to the XRP ledger here. All right, let's jump into this piece now. Bitcoin mixing stolen identities and fake tax return used to defraud Microsoft of more than $10 million. Former Microsoft software engineer Vladimir Kravchuk, I don't know if I'm saying that right, was convicted Tuesday in the United States District Court in Seattle for stealing more than $10 million in currency stored value, such as digital gift cards from his employer. Part of his strategy was to launder the stolen funds by using Bitcoin mixing services. After a 5-day trial, Kravchuk was convicted on 5 counts of wire fraud, 6 counts of money laundering, 2 counts each of aggravated identity theft, and filing false tax reports, and 1 count each of mail fraud, access device fraud, and access to a protected computer. As part of his job, Kravchuk was authorized to test Microsoft's online retail sales platform. During that testing, he stole the digital value and then resold it in order to purchase a lakefront home worth $1.6 million and a Tesla worth $160,000. This guy sucks. He used a Bitcoin mixing service to hide the source of the funds, racking up around $2.8 million in Bitcoin and claiming those funds were gifts from relatives on false IRS tax forms. Kravchuk, I don't know how to say this, claims he was working on a special project to benefit, not defraud Microsoft. According to IRS Special Agent Ryan L. Corners, quote, in addition to stealing from Microsoft, Kravchuk also stole from the government by concealing his fraudulent income and filing false tax returns. Kravchuk's grand scheme was thwarted by the hard work of IRS CI's Cyber Crimes Unit. Criminals who think they can avoid detection by using cryptocurrency and laundering through mixers are put on notice. You will be caught and you will be held accountable. And this guy faces up to 20 years in prison. Oh my God. You know what? There are so many ways to make money on this planet. There's so much opportunity. Why would you need to steal from anybody? Jesus, this guy sucks. And so it's worth highlighting this, but it's also interesting too because, of course, clearly Bitcoin and most cryptocurrencies are not anonymous. So it's kind of funny to me that you think you could use a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin to get away with stuff like this. It leaves a trail. No. Anyway, that's it for this video, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!